This is Zuma Dogg in Los Angeles, California, with an urgent alert for all Angelinos, residents, citizens, and aliens from outer space, not just south of the border. I'm here to talk about Airbnb. Now, I just took a George McFly-style time trip into the future, and I've returned, and here's the number one message. Airbnb must be shut down. LA City Hall must shut down Airbnb. Now, I'll tell you the challenge right off the bat. They're getting tax revenue money from Airbnb, and they love it. However, that is no excuse to destroy the fabric and character of the city and region forever. Now, this applies to other major cities, municipalities that also allow Airbnb to function in their city limits. Now, people already know that Airbnb has negative side effects. It's been spoken about to some extent. I'm just here to say I projected this out through my George McFly style Back to the Future time travel, and you can laugh all you want, people, but 11 years ago I walked into City Hall and I said, gee, you're going to have to declare an emergency for the wave of homelessness. It's going to be hitting the streets of LA. Sidewalks, actually. And I see now the tent encampments lining the sidewalks of the city in places we've never seen, just as I envisioned. And I'm here to tell you, folks, I've got an epiphany like Rain Man, 5 minutes to Wapner on this issue. I had one also about something I heard about called subprime, that it would cause a bubble burst, and that the city had pension money and they were in for a big loss and were big. Well, guess what? There was subprime. It happened. There was a bubble burst. The city lost 20% of the pension money, billions, $8 billion, and that's why all the services were cut. We never rebounded from that. We're still trying to rejiggle the pensions and all the losses from that, trust me. And so what I'm saying now is we know Airbnb is bad because, for example, it causes a housing shortage when people, let's say you're in a rent control, okay, that's been passed down for generations. Well, that's not the point of spirit of rent control. So, you have Airbnb, so now you're holding on to that unit. Rent control, okay, that's one example. Maybe you don't even like that one, but let's get right to it. Here's what's happening. Tents in people's backyards now on Airbnb, $250 a month. You can't even pitch the tents fast enough to meet the demand. Airbnb, it allows people from all over the world to easily move into LA. It allows criminals, terrorists, miscreants, and good people. It's just everybody can come here now. You don't need first and last month's rent. You don't need any credit checks. You don't need any type of anything. You just fly here, you drive here, you walk here. Then, boom, you're able to easily get housing where, hotels were too expensive. And then, there used to be supply and demand where the city could handle so much, all the apartments, all the hotels, there's no more housing. Well, now Airbnb, people putting tents in their backyards, renting out the, rooms and things. So I'm here to say that, yeah, we know it taxes the infrastructure. Okay, but I'm here to say it's going to be much, 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 much worse. And, aside from allowing executives and people, upscale business people from all over the world, and they are all coming here to LA, you must recognize and realize and accept LA is now, it's not a city for middle class worker residents, and it's for either the lowest of income people, that the city and county and state does everything to help, and they're turning the whole city, county, and state just into their entire function is to cater and provide services to the low-income immigrants that are coming here. Okay, then on top of that, you have all the people from Europe and I'm seeing China, Europe, everywhere. oh my God, the Middle East. Everybody's coming to L.A. If you can get out of where you are now, because terrorism has taken over the entire rest of the world, and America's the last bastion. And so everybody's coming here if you can afford to. So you got the Maseratis, and then you got the low income. And so they're all coming here, and Airbnb is allowing it. Now the streets and the traffic is going to be absolutely shut down. Okay, they keep saying, well, gee, we're going to build out the mass transit. We're going to have the trains go from east to west and north to south. And when that happens, and then guess what? The mom still ain't going to be, taking their kids on the train to do their chores, to take them to school, and the people still aren't going to be changing their life around. You have to get over that. And as a side note, now they're saying they're going to take the HOV lanes and make them go from 2 passengers to 3 or 4 in an attempt to reduce traffic. That's madness. That's going to make it much worse, because now all the cars that used to be in the HOV with 2, now they're going to have to be in the rest of the traffic. It's going to make it worse. They're again thinking, and they even said this in the announcement, well, people will take mass transit when we build it out. And then they think that you're going to start to carpool more. People aren't going to change their habits, okay, in this area. They are not. They're just going to stay in the traffic or just move out, okay? So let's get over that unrealistic premise. And then with Airbnb, and Uber, of course, you're just going to make it worse and worse. But aside from that, the police, we don't have enough to enforce now. So now you're just going to let unlimited people, and the Airbnb is going to get bigger and bigger with more and more people doing it and more people coming here, and you don't have enough police right now. The fire response times is going to be put at risk. Of course, the schools, the water, we got water shortage. Yeah, let's just have the whole world move here and jam into LA with every Airbnb. Okay, what about the hospitals? What about the city administration, just to be able to process stuff? It's too big, too many people. So you can just project it out into all the different ways. But what I am here to say is that you're just judging it on now. This will, progress at a geometric rate in a way that we lose control of, and it is all going to end in the bottom falling out of the infrastructure. The bottom is going to fall out, and we are going to lose this city forever as we know it. And you could say, well, gee, how do you know? You know that I'm right, and I'm just saying that the one thing about me, I do project out a little bit in a way that listen, I'm like, hey, it's Rain Man, baby. When I get like this, you take it to the bank, okay? When I worked in radio, you can come in and play 100 records for me. I would pick the one that's going to be the biggest hit, and that's it. So you can sit there and dispute it all you want. Now, I will say that some records I will listen to, and I wouldn't recognize them. I would say, that record sucks. Well, that could be number 1, too. Okay, so I could miss some things. But when I am stuck on something, that's it, baby. So please, if you're listening, put pressure on your city council. Let it be known this is the number 1 effing thing, baby. Forget everything else. You can't change much else. You got to put pressure. I'm here to say this is much worse than you're anticipating, maybe not you, that the people at large, and you need to wake everybody up. I'm here to say this is the biggest fucking thing. Trust me. Zuma Dogg. ZumaDogg.com.